Hello everyone, and thanks for watching CS Academy online. So now this is Sabihuddin Ahmed Siddiqui and I'm going to explain paper 2, problem solving skills and programming. Here we are focusing on correction of errors, part 2, which you can see and understand for paper component 0478 IGCSE and 2210 GCSE. So now I have focused on that how to correct errors. First of all, if you know the constraints and control structures correctly, then there is no problem to understand and removing errors. So now keep watching. Now I'm going to shift over to the second type, which is for loop. Now the rules to be remembered is for implementing for next loop is the for loop should be terminated with next keyword. If you think that there should be counter equals to counter plus one or whatever something other statements, so if you see that thing, so that particular item can be used to count for sub entries but not for count complement. For count complement is for and next. If whatever is put in between these two keywords, that is for and next, will be under the loop. That means whatever written within these two words, for as begin and next as end, so you will see that whatever comes under it, this will be the part of for loop, which is also known as definite or finite loop. Second point, sub counters can be used for separate different counting within the loop when the event occurs. That means, for example, I am going to count something. Let's suppose I'm going to count how many times I remained present in a year or in a month. So if I am focusing on my name or on my ID, so that should be the part of condition, where condition will track my name or ID. On behalf of that tracked number ID, that is, or my name, the loop will start counting separately that how many times my presence occurred. That means how many times I come to this particular class or to this particular loop. So you will see that the sub counter will start working and calculating for the entry you have focused to mark as a counter. So now when this happens, you can see example, if the counter is doing repetition and you want to check the input that how many positive and negative numbers out of 100, then you will have to use subcounters separately for each condition. Again, I make your mind clear that if you want to use subcounters, you can use to calculate separate items. Let's suppose I'm going to calculate, let's suppose how many students have come to the class, let's suppose how many boys, how many girls, and for example, if you are going to take supermarket, how many items, how many edible items, how many other items. So on behalf of each item you will put a counter. You will not set for next again and again. The for next, let's suppose if you are counting from 1000 items or from 100 items, the sub counter will coordinate with the total number of occurrences of the item being sold. So now I must say that you will use sub counter for separate items calculation. Third part, initial and final limits in a loop condition must be true. Values must be found while testing. That means if you are testing something, if it is present, then the loop will go correctly. If the loop does not find the value you are focusing, then the logical error will occur and loop will terminate inappropriately. So fourth point is, to calculate average, it must be outside the loop, because the reason behind is that let's suppose a loop is a kind of cycle which keeps on running. So what comes under it will be the part of, that means you are going to add the running totals will be the part of loop. That means if you want to calculate something, that will be under the loop. But if you want to make a percentage or make a average, so that should be out of the body of loop. Out of the body of loop means the thing which is within the loop is the data which is inside the body of loop. When you talk about the body outside the body of loop, that means the statements which are written outside the loop is known as the statement which are written outside the body of loop. Body means the for, and next is the body of the loop. For next, which is define which is definite or finite. So now if you are going to calculate average, some other formulas which relate to that it should come afterward should be after the loop. So now part number 5, totaling is performed within the loop, and total must be total equals to 0, or you can say total is assigned as 0, or this arrow sign you can see is used to relate right hand side to left hand side, where total stands at left hand side. In between total and 0, 0 is at right hand side, so you can see that 0 is being assigned to total. That means that the value of total will be initialized with 0, and 0 can be identified as the type of number which relates to data types. Part number 6 of for next rules. For loop, count variable automatically increments by 1. That means here the count, I have used the keyword. This is not the keyword. This is not the keyword. Basically, count is not the keyword. It is a kind of variable. Where I must make your mind clear. Variable means the value which keeps on changing. Let's suppose it could be marks, it could be different data, it could be names which are keep on changing. You cannot find a single name, or you can find the names repeatedly in one institute, organization, or something else. So now if count, I have given the name count, or you can give the name counter, you can give the name A. So a variable which is the identifier, or variable or identifier which identifies the name of the variable with the data type. So count, let's suppose for A is the count. For A equals to 1 to 100. 1 to 100 means the incrementer is implemented inside this statement, that is for A equals to 1 to TO2 100. TO2 100 means it will take a start with the value of 1, and then it will go till 100 until it reaches 100. It will keep on working. So now it is incremented by 1. You can change the increment jump by changing the loop's structure also. 1 each time, it's a default value. Default value means which will remain 1 only. You can make the loop go in reverse and forward both directions. Again, I am repeating, for loop, count variable or any variable which is used as a start value can automatically increments when you are just setting the end value to any number, that is 10, 20, 30, 40 and 100, etc. So the loop will increment by 1 each time when the occurrence takes place. So each time loop reaches the next, before reaching next, when it reaches to the next, it will check that okay, this number has done now I have to move on to the next number. So next keyword is done, then the loop is finished. Check whether count is again incremented inside for the loop body or not. If it is still incrementing, that means there is some kind of error. If the range is done, that means you have initialized your variable, loop variable, with 1 and it has to go till 100. If it is still running, that means there is something wrong, you have to check. Or now if everything is going fine, that means the loop is okay and it will come to an end till the value you have given, that is your end value, which could be starting for A equals to 1 to 100 or A equals to 1 to 10, whatever you have given. So I hope you will understand these rules, and whenever you're writing pseudocodes and algorithms, and even you can just write a program for you in any languages such as basic Python and something like that. So I must recommend you to just keep this thing in your mind, and then later on you will catch all the errors and you will be able to solve all the errors. Thanks for watching. I hope you will like this, and we will continue in the next video. Thanks for watching.